Global education. Global education is a pedagogical approach that fosters multiple perspectives and the deconstruction of stereotypes and builds on a learner-centered approach to foster critical awareness of global challenges and engagement for sustainable lifestyle. Global education competencies build on development education, human rights, and education for sustainability, education for peace, and intercultural education, all being the global dimension of education for citizenship. Global education is a necessity for the 21st century learner. Our world is increasingly interconnecting every day. Our students no longer only compete dom- domestically. Global education enables people to understand the links between their own lives and those of people throughout the world. It increases understanding of the economic, cultural, political, and environmental influence which shape our lives. Global teacher. Being a globally competent teacher requires embracing a mindset that translates personal global competence into professional classroom practice. It is a vision of equitable teaching and learning that enables students to thrive in an ever-changing world. A global teacher is an educator that incorporates various global issues into their curriculum, including multiculturalism, economic, environmental, and social issues. Now, let's proceed to the five pillars of education. The first pillar is learning to know. Second, learning to do. Third, learning to live together. Fourth, learning to be. And lastly, learning to transform oneself and society. Learning to know. Learning to know includes the development of the faculties of memory, imagination, reasoning, problem solving, and the ability to think in a coherent and critical way. It is a process of discovery which takes time and involves going more deeply into the information or knowledge delivered through subject teaching. Next is learning to do. Learning to do calls for new types of skills, more behavioral than intellectual. Learning to do thus implies a shift from skill to competence or a mix of higher order skills specific to each individual. Third one is learning to live together. Is one of the most vital to building a genuine and lasting culture of peace throughout the world. In learning to live together, it is necessary to devise a form of education which will make it possible to avoid conflicts or resolve them peacefully by promoting learning to live together with others, by developing a spirit of respect for for the values of pluralism and the need for mutual understanding and peace. Core and related values needed to live together in peace and harmony. The fourth pillar of education is learning to be. The learning to be report one of the risk of inequalities, provision, and suffering and emphasize the universal features education. The last pillar of education is learning to transform oneself and society. It's defined as when individuals and groups gain knowledge, develop skills, and acquire new values as a result of learning. And now, let's proceed to the main topic. The country assigned is Australia. Australia, officially the Commonwealth of Australia, is a sovereign country comprising the mainland of the Australian continent, the island of Tasmania, and numerous smaller islands with an area of 7,617,930 square kilometers. Australia is the largest country by the area of Oceania and the world's sixth largest country. Education in Australia encompasses the sectors of early childhood education, which is the preschool, and primary education, followed by the secondary education, which is the secondary high school or the high school, and finally tertiary education, which includes higher education, universities, and other higher education providers, and vocational education. Regulation in funding of education is primarily the responsibility of the states and territories. However, the Australian government also plays a funding role. Like in the Philippines, Australia's education system begins at preschool or early childhood education for children 3 to 5 years old, though this is not compulsory. Then, students continue to primary school followed by the secondary education or high school. Government school, also known as a public school, are free to attend for Australian citizens and the permanent resident, while Catholic and independent schools usually charge attendance fee. If you come to Australia as an international student with kids, you will need to pay for their school regardless of whether it's a private or a public school. Before proceeding to a university, you will also need to cover tuition fees. And that's the end of my topic. Thank you for watching.